Greetings, folks. Greetings. Everything's going according to plan, folks. That's a sign there. Welcome to Wisconsin. Attention criminals and terrorists. Our citizens are armed. However, if you want to perpetrate a crime, check out Illinois and Chicago. They enacted strong gun laws, and you can wreak havoc over there. You understand? Okay, folks. Drake's Vital Weekend Update, April 7. Link down below. Highlights at the end. Okay, here's this video came in from, excuse me, folks. Look at the Truth sent in this video. Another child stolen. Now, folks, this is sad, folks. This is sad, 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 sad. But check it out, and you're going to see what's going on here. This is in the UK, but it's also happening here. It is. It is. And what this is a cult. Now, the actors in this scene here, the so-called officials stealing the child, they're not law enforcement. They're not. These people are a member of a cult. They set up their own little kangaroo courts, their own little warrants, all this kind of thing. The social workers, you know, they're there. But check it out, and it is a cult. And it's sad but true, this is going on. And there's a connection between this and Sandy Hook. I don't know exactly what the connection is, but they're doing this kind of stuff. So we should be aware of it. Now, they pick on poor folks. Now, too bad that guy didn't have a firearm. Okay, let's move on. Putin gives Russian officials 3 months to close their foreign bank accounts. Putin first announced the measure in a State of the Nation address December as a part of efforts to fight corruption. So, you know, Obama did this. If Obama did the same thing here, you know, all these criminals have to be transparent. So Putin's saying, look, all these foreign bank accounts you got, what are you doing? You're mafia. So when Putin is cracking down. Okay. Move on here. My blog takes on a new direction by Gene. This came from American Militia, Drake's website. So go to that website, and he has uploaded a whole bunch of stuff, man. It's unbelievable. So check out the articles there. There's a whole lot of them. No way I can comment on all of them. And it's just a barrage of articles and stuff. So check it out. Okay, where are we here? Okay. Oh yeah. My blog takes a new direction by Gene. It's talking about the humanitarian programs for the nations of the world. These funds will not be distributed to governments or banks, never again, but to the foundations that serve the people. And we will remain completely transparent. So check that out. And it's about free energy, rebuilding infrastructure, national economics, environmental destruction, health care, and the whole thing. So that's going to give you a good understanding of what's going on. Neil Keenan update, Global Financial Alert. It's again on Drake's website. Central bankers secretly stockpiling gold through their third party in anticipation of a euro collapse. Greek assets, whole islands, being secretly sold off to pay Tarioki. I don't know what that is. Check for $300 million signed by CEO of major bank is used to defraud global gold reserves. Okay, I have another article down below about that one. United Bank of Switzerland selling off US dollars at 20% discount. Well, that's not cool. You could sell your dollars for 20% discount. I don't know what you're selling them for, but no, check it out. Okay, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. Cyprus theft of savings accounts was a test run. We know that. So what they did there at Cyprus was a test run to see if they can get away with it, and of course they did. And so they're going to implement that strategy that again and again. Another one here, Neil Keenan update, Asia beware. Where's this? Yeah, check that one out. Veterans Today, Noah Assad informed me that I should inform you all that Ben Fulford now is a columnist, weekly columnist at Veterans Today, and I'll give you a link down below to it, so you can check that out. And that's good. That's good news. That's good news there. So thanks, Noah Assad. I appreciate it. Second star, near Mach station. I think that's the South Pole station. There are sightings of a second sun, second star. And Tolek actually has a good explanation about what that really is, and I'll get to that at the Highlights of Drake show because they talked about it. So that came in from Silkcat 51, and I checked it out, and during the show Drake mentioned Tolek's explanation for these things, so I'll get to that. Okay, now moving on. Okay. The assault on gold. The Fed's attempt to scare people away from gold and silver, by Dr. Paul Craig Roberts. And this came at Global Research website. So check it out, folks. What they're doing, what they're trying to do is trying to scare people away from gold by slowly dropping the prices. What they want to do is make sure you don't buy it, because they're going to get it. You know how they work. Okay, new subscribers. The God of has subscribed. Timeliner, Randy Potter's 5, Pedro Persurfers, I can't pronounce that one. Jack 41, Cal Cunningham 48, new user, and Stephen Byrne. Thanks for subscribing, guys, and don't forget to sign up for email alerts from Drake's website. The reason being is that we're close to our goals here, and Drake's going to issue a 24-hour notice. Now, whether I get it in time is a question to give it to you. So you should get it right from the horse's mouth, or should I say the horse hockey mouth. That's a stupid joke. So let's move on here. Okay, Drake, highlights of Drake show. Cyprus government is no longer using banks in Cyprus. Isn't that cool if our government used banks in Switzerland or something? So, you know, the Cyprus government, they know what's going on. Say, oh, we're not using that bank, you know. So the government, well, they're broke anyway. They got nothing, so. All right, but that's interesting. Okay. Greece. Whole islands and public lands secretly being sold off to pay the bankers. The Cyprus effect was a test run, soon to come your way. The cabal. Financial leverage is the goal. They want financial leverage. That's what this is all about, folks. It's all about the money. You know, it's all the love of money. The holy dollar. The holy dollar. What they're trying to do is get as much as they can, as fast as they can, before the collateral accounts get released and the collapse. They want to be on top of things, you know, and money puts you on top. Right now it does, but what the cabal does not know is there's so much gold and silver on our side that you know where you're going to be on top of it. But anyway, that's their goal. High level counterfeiting, fabrication of certificates, and printing phony money. No, those weren't exact words from Drake, but that's kind of what's going on here. So they're counterfeiting some money, and of course the bank gave it to you, and you go to the store and they wipe the little pen on it and say, hey, we're not taking this bill. You know, so you know, you see that all the time at stores now, and it's not some criminals, some citizen criminals doing it. It's these bankers doing it. Okay, let's move on here. The Federal Reserve note is going to be shut down and turned off, according to Drake. They are turning their assets into gold in preparation of the plan to collapse. So the article I just showed from Global Research will tell you all about that. Okay. The banks are over leveraged. Well, if you folks don't know about fractional reserve banking, they are always over leveraged since the beginning of the Federal Reserve Bank. What they do is they only have to have 10% of the depositor's money in the bank. Now what the rest of it is in their investments or whatever. So, you know, if you other folks get it, first come, first serve. Now if you got to go get your money out of the bank, when there's a run, they're going to say, hey, they'll lock the doors. Just like Cyprus, they can do the same thing. Okay. Drake gives a warning again. Get your money out of the bank. The time will come when credit cards and ATMs will not function. And so he's adamant about this, folks. I mean, he's not joking. He said it time and time and time and time again. So he knows what's going on. Paul Craig Roberts knows what's going on. So you might heed his advice. If banks do not pay out, they will lose their charter. I think that's connected with Neil Keenan. Basically, they owe money. They owe a bunch of money. And when it comes time to pay up, if they don't pay up, they lose their charter and they go down. That's what Neil Keenan's working on, okay? And let's pray for him that he's successful, and he will be. Greece is a prime example of what is to come. It's got 90% businesses shut down, depositors suffering incredible losses. Okay, well that was a test run, folks. And I can't believe the Cyprus people got away with it. But you see what they do? They picked Cyprus purposely because if people aren't armed, they don't have guns. It's a small island. Well, it's not real small compared to Mykonos, Paros, and Santorini, those things, but it's an island. And it's easy to get this done over there. It was easy to make it happen, and so they picked the easy way out, and they did it. So that's why they did it. Okay. The general populace is kept in ignorance until the trigger is pulled. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Cyprus effect is at your door. Well, that's not Drake's. Actually, it's not really Drake's words. I put that in because that's what they're doing, and to keep you ignorant of their plans, and to keep you sidetracked and distracted and decoyed away from what they're doing, until poof, they pull the trigger and your money's gone. That's what they do. They do it well. And I wouldn't be surprised if they call in a bunch of loans myself. That's not, Drake didn't say that, but I think they're going to do that too. I think one day you're going to get a call from your mortgage company say your loan is due and payable now. And they might try that too. They might, but that's my opinion. It's not Drake's opinion. Drake suggests that North Korea's scare was purposely created as a distraction, from this financial crisis. And most likely it was. Most likely it is. I personally, nothing's going to happen over there. Excuse me. No, they might fire some stupid missile out to sea or something like that, but nothing's going to go on. We can see what's going on here. The Kapow is fighting back big time. And what their next move is kind of uncertain. But they would love so much to get World War III started right there, and the North Korean dictator, whoever he is, He might be playing along with their plan, to make this scare happen. So anyway, that's probably right, Drake talked again about being prepared, stocking up on supplies, food for 2 weeks. He said 2-3 weeks. You may need enough cash and supplies. So that's that. Christine Lagarde. Somebody asked about Christine Lagarde and said, well, Drake, you have such a high opinion of Christine Lagarde, and now you don't like her anymore. Well, here's the story, folks. Christine Lagarde did. She took care of a bunch of money laundering going through the IMF, okay, and she put a stop to that. And who could say anything but good for that? I mean, why not? And then when she defects and goes along with this carbon tax and the gasoline tax, well, that's that. So she was a good person, and she turned to the dark side of the force, just like Darth Vader, okay? So you can't fault Drake for that. Okay, Nasira website. The White Knights are ready to go, according to the Nasira website. And somebody asked if Drake, is that real true? And Drake doesn't know the White Knights, okay? He says he doesn't know about them, so he can't say yea or nay. But he's not discounting the fact that they might be. Okay, now this is from we talked about Tolek. Now that second son, according to Tolek, these biospheres, I don't know exactly what they are, it's a biosphere. This phenomena happens around sunset, sunrise, and remote locations, and that's his explanation for these second sons, which the ones that are legitimate. And these biospheres do appear. Now, what a biosphere is, I really don't know, but I think it's a phenomena where there's a planet, maybe in another dimension or something. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to research it and find out. But that's his explanation, okay? And I think Tolek is right. Move on. E.T. Somebody asked about our Eisenhower meeting face-to-face with the good E.T.s. And apparently that did really happen. And somebody was asking, is it still going on, blah, blah, blah. And Drake said they stopped doing face-to-face meetings at a certain time. And so he'll know, he knew what time that is. But anyway, I kind of do remember a little bit about it. And the ETs said the hell with this planet at one certain, because they got, spit on or something like that. I think that they made some agreements or whatever, and they, reneged on their agreement or something. So the ETs say, well, screw this planet. So anyway, that was that. Okay, is China for us or against us? Drake says China's on our side. Okay, and they know what's going on over here, and they're with us. Okay, they are. E.T. Drake has had direct exposure to them, and he is confident that they are on our side and working with us to free the planet. That's good. Okay, somebody's asked about the interim government here. Drake says a skeletonized. Is that a real word? Skeletonized? Well, skeletonized interim government is ready to be put in place for approximately for 120 days. Drake dares not say who they are and who's involved in it, because it's big danger for those people. Some of the bad ETs may be still on our planet. However, there's a quarantine on our planet, and the good ETs are watching out for us. So the quarantine's in effect. Nobody comes in and out. So the ETs, bad ETs, try to get out, they get blasted. They try to come in, they got fought off. Basically, that's what's going on. Okay, thanks ETs, I appreciate it. I know you're listening, and we do appreciate your help, because without your help, we may not be able to pull this off. So stick with us. We're working on it, and I appreciate it. A number of foundations are being worked on to help distribute humanitarian aid. Somebody asked about where to volunteer. As of right now, there's no place where you can go volunteer because you might just be a cabal member, and who knows what. But anyway, right now you can't. But that will be coming up soon, according to Drake. It'll be coming up. The financial advantage is the key to action being taken. That is what they're waiting on. Now, I think, folks, this might be what's delaying the progress. Okay, we have to be absolutely certain the financial advantage is on our side. Well, you see what the cabal is doing, folks. You see what the cabal is doing. They're scrambling, digging hard to get the financial advantage. Look what they did to Cyprus, and they're going to do it over here. At some certain point, we're just going to have to let's go, green light, and I hope it's soon. Okay, from 3D to 5D. Somebody asked, can you jump from 3D direct to 5D? Well, Drake says, no, you got to go through 4D to get there. And, it's kind of like you want to get to Central America, and you're in America here, you got to go through Mexico. You can just pass through and go there, but you still got to go through. So that's kind of what he said here. Okay, here. Okay. Smart meters. If you want to shut down your smart meter, you can cover it with tinfoil and make sure it's wired to ground. I guess that will work. I'm not sure what smart meters are myself, folks, but somebody was asking about the computers. They might be able to tap your computer at that particular time, because this one caller said, at that particular time when they're reading the smart meter, my computer seems to be going weird, and they're worried about somebody tapping in. And Drake didn't directly address that. Okay, 24-hour notice will be given before the big sweep. And that's very important, folks. That's why I'm telling people to sign up for Drake's email alerts, because 24 hours is really not that much, and I could actually miss it. And all of us can miss it, unless you got your computer running and you get your email. And they could shut down YouTubers, no problem whatsoever, but they won't shut down Drake. There's steps in place to keep Drake alive. I know that. So they won't shut him down. Gold and silver prices are predicted to escalate. Quantity and demand he was talking about. And everyone's scurrying around to grab it, and so it could become scarce. If it becomes scarce because everyone's hoarding it, it goes up. You know how that is. Okay. The collateral accounts are not connected to the Keenan lawsuit. And somebody asked about that. They're separate, however they're closely associated. The lawsuit would bring like a lien or a levy on the central banking system, because they owe a whole bunch of money to the collateral accounts, and they have to pay it 4% in annual in gold, not in their Federal Reserve notes. So that pretty much crashes them because they don't have it. So we better pray for Neil Keenan, because when that happens, and also depends on the judges if they're not crooked. And any judge that shows up to be crooked, I'd pity that guy, because oh boy, what would happen to him? Okay, where are we here? Okay, Denise gave an alert here. There's 3 different things going on. I think it's Global Voice about financial questions and debt elimination and question your debt. So I'm going to give to you, I'll put it in the description box, because there's Just Dave on Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern, and there's What Lies in Your Debt on Tuesdays, and then there is Terry Hinkle at 8 p.m. on Wednesdays, and the call-in numbers, all that. I'll put that in the description box so you'll know what it is. Okay, debt elimination and mortgage relief. Will this happen when the collateral accounts are released? Drake said that's a part of NESARA, and NESARA will be putting that into action. It may coincide at the same time period, but that is NESARA. NESARA does that. I remember that. Yes, it does. So that's what that is. Somebody asked about a takeover of the United Nations with foreign troops, and Drake kind of dispelled that notion, saying 80% of the military would not go along with it. Basically, cabal initiated fear propaganda. That's what it is. Now, can you imagine 100,000 foreign troops here on our soil? Come on, it ain't gonna happen. So that's one of those things people are, it's always coming out. I see that a lot. The White Hats, the White Knights, the Dragon family. Drake's not actively supporting their efforts or anything like that. And he's not saying that they're not legit or legit, whatever, but he's not associated with those things. However, he likes some of the things, well, I don't know exactly what he says. As long as their intentions are clean and supportive of our cause, we will welcome their assistance. Okay, he didn't say exactly like that, but that's kind of what he did say. Jean Haynes. I don't know who she is, but Drake thinks very highly of her. Apparently she's doing some really good work. So you can Google her, and I haven't checked her out. Safe deposit boxes. Are they safe? No, they're not. They're subject to search and seizure at any particular time. The cabal feels like they want to do it. That was in reference to a question about a Homeland Security letter that came out in internet, or an act. Yeah, the act, the Homeland Security Act was post 9/11. You know, because everybody's a terrorist now. And you are a terrorist. Right now, you're watching this, you're a terrorist. That's it. You're just a terrorist. And they have the right to inspect your bank accounts and your finances. You know, that's Homeland Security. And then, what's the Patriot Act or something? But anyway, they're not safe, okay? The right to bear arms is our insurance policy against the oppressive government. And now that's under attack, folks. That's under attack. But look at that, Wisconsin. Wisconsin, you're on top of it. The militias are growing at a phenomenal rate. And that's because of all this stuff that's going on. So that's good news. They're just phenomenally growing. That's why we're not hearing anything from Rick Light. From him in tech. He used to be on the show regular. Now the guy's so damn busy he can't even get away from his house. So he's got tons of recruits, and he's training, he's doing all that. So Rick, while we're not hearing your voice, we still, I still think highly of you, and I think we all do. Okay. They are attempting to guard the cabal. They are attempting to garner the last of the controls and make us all refugees dependent on them. That's the plan of their action. The Cypress effect, okay, that's what it is. That's what it is. And they could just, levy your bank account. Somehow they can do this sneaky stuff, and they'll say, look, there's a tax on everybody's bank account of 10%. Sorry, we have a financial crisis. Obama's going to come on and say, oh, sorry folks, this is the only way we deal with it. If you're a patriotic American, just let us do it. We're not going to hurt you. In the end, we're going to restore the republic. So something like that's going to happen. Okay. And the cabal, they are full aware of our attempts to regain our freedom too. You know that? They are. And they are initiating countermeasures, inch by inch, foot by foot, mile by mile, to drain what's left of us. Now Drake didn't say that, folks, but pretty much that's what's happening, okay? Okay, so folks, that's it for this update, and I'll keep you all informed. And we're getting close, folks. I can tell Neil Keenan is making some headway. And so that's it. Over and out.